From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Friday, September 12th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. SonicWall SSL VPN flaws now being actively exploited. Following up on a story we covered in August, cybersecurity firm Rapid7 says it has, quote, observed a spike in intrusions involving SonicWall appliances over the past month, particularly following reports about renewed Akira ransomware activity since late July. SonicWall has subsequently confirmed that the attacks on its firewalls, quote, involved a year-old security flaw with a CVSS score of 9.3, where local user passwords were carried over during the migration and not reset. End quote. Customers are advised to rotate passwords on all SonicWall local accounts, remove any unused or inactive SonicWall local accounts, ensure MFA and TOTP policies are configured, and restrict Virtual Office portal access to the internal network. Acting Federal Cyberchief outlines his priorities. Michael Duffy, speaking at the Billington Cybersecurity Summit, identified his priorities as, quote, focusing enterprise cyber defense, increasing operational resilience, and securing a modern U.S. government, end quote. For the first of these, he described it as, quote, a matter of leaders thinking about things like vulnerability management, supply chain or incident responses, not just for their own agency, but across the enterprise as well, end quote, adding, quote, it's incumbent upon agencies to act now rather than waiting for the next cyber crisis to shape the next 10 years, end quote. U.S.-based investors in spyware firms nearly tripled in 2024. According to a report from the Atlantic Council think tank, 31 American firms were found to be backing the manufacturers of spyware compared to 11 in 2023. The report continues by saying, quote, the U.S. is the largest investor in the spyware market, end quote, and mentions as examples Paragon, makers of the graphite product allegedly used to target WhatsApp users, which was acquired by Florida-based AE Industrial Partners last year, and also Integrity Partners, which invested in Saito Tech Limited, creator of the Kandiru spyware. UK cybersecurity legislation delayed again. The UK government's long-awaited Cybersecurity and Resilience Bill has been delayed again despite its main provisions being finalised 3 years ago. The Sunak government failed to table the bill in 2022, and the Starmer government's nearly identical version was due this week, but was postponed amid a cabinet reshuffle. No new date has been announced. The delay comes as Britain faces escalating cyber attacks, including a recent incident that halted production at Jaguar Land Rover, described as, quote, an economic security incident, end quote. Other attacks have, of course, hit retailers like Marks & Spencer and the Co-op, causing nationwide supply disruptions. Huge thanks to our sponsor, Vanta. Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Like right now? We know that real-time visibility is critical for security, but when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. But more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across over 35 frameworks like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows like policies, access reviews, and reporting, and help you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. Get started at vanta.com/headlines. That is VANTA.com/headlines. DDoS defender targeted in giant DDoS attack. A Europe-based DDoS mitigation service provider was targeted in a massive distributed denial-of-service attack that reached 1.5 billion packets per second. The attack was launched from thousands of IoTs and MikroTik routers. FastNetMon, the company that mitigated the attack, quote, did not name the targeted customer but describes them as a DDoS scrubbing provider, end quote. The attack was detected in real time and mitigation action was taken using the customer's DDoS scrubbing facility. Hackers use ConnectWise Screen Connect to drop async rat. Researchers at Level Blue are warning of a campaign that uses the remote desktop software to deploy the async rat Trojan. The report states that attackers are using PowerShell loaders and are achieving persistence via a fake Skype updater. This attack is an example of a fileless malware campaign in which .NET assemblies are run directly in memory instead of saving executables to disk, which makes detection and defense much more difficult. KillSec ransomware attacks Brazilian healthcare software provider. The attack targeted Medic Solution, a software solutions provider for the healthcare industry in Brazil, and according to researchers at ReSecurity, the root cause of the incident was, quote, data exfiltration from an insecure AWS S3 bucket, end quote. The window of exposure is estimated as several months. The data stolen includes sensitive laboratory results and reports, medical assessments, and other private patient information. The total volume of stolen data exceeds 34 gigabytes. KillSec ransomware actors have also targeted healthcare institutions in Colombia, Peru, and the US. New VMscape attack breaks guest-host isolation on AMD and Intel CPUs. As posted on Bleeping Computer, quote, a new Spectre-like attack dubbed VMscape allows a malicious virtual machine to leak cryptographic keys from an unmodified QEMU hypervisor process running on modern AMD or Intel CPUs, end quote. This attack, developed by a team of researchers at ETH Zurich Public University in Switzerland, quote, breaks the isolation between VMs and the cloud hypervisor, bypassing existing Spectre mitigations and threatening to leak sensitive data by leveraging speculative execution, end quote. The researchers note that, quote, a threat actor could deploy such an attack against a cloud provider by simply renting a virtual machine to leak secrets from the hypervisor or other VMs. End quote. As usual, we've got a busy Friday of live streams today, in fact, a little busier. It starts at 1 p.m. with Super Cyber Friday, where the topic will be hacking managed services, an hour of critical thinking about what questions to ask when you're looking for a provider. Then, at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, we have our Week in Review show. Our guests this week are Rob Teal, CTO of the Oklahoma Department of Commerce, and Howard Halton, newly minted CEO of GigaOM. They together will be providing their expert commentary on the news of the week with host Rich Straffolino. To find out more about both shows and to register to join the conversations, simply go to the events page at cisoseries.com. And if you have some thoughts on the news from today or about the show in general, please be sure to reach out to us at feedback@cisoseries.com. We would love to hear from you. I'm Steve Prentice, reporting for the CISO Series.
Cybersecurity headlines are available every weekday. Head to cisoseries.com for the full stories behind the headlines.